All right, we're gonna try a new format. We're gonna do the long screen, or the horizontal screen instead of the vertical. You know, I could like do my channel. See how I have all this crazy shit going on in the back, right? Like I could find like a good spot, you know, like where it looks like I'm like really important, you know. But I don't know, I haven't really, like I could, what I want to do is I want to get a chair, like a computer chair, right? And just sit it here. And I've got, dude, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've got a couple of microphones, you know, like the Shure microphones that bands use for vocals and shit. I've got a couple of those up in my cupboard here. And I've got the cables and everything. All I need is the adapter so that I can plug it into my phone. And then I want to have a mic. I'm going to have a mic. That way then I could sit like way far away. Like I could have this be the background. I could have that be the background. And then I'll just sit over here with my microphone in my computer chair, you know, my big computer chair. And like act like I'm some important, you know, YouTuber that has some really important shit to say, you know. I'll just sit right here, my chair, my high chair, and just be like, all right, you guys, we're gonna talk about some really important stuff here. But nah. Anyways. But this looks pretty good. The horizontal instead of the vertical. Anyways. I've been getting pretty heavy lately with my videos because, like, just like when I start getting into the homeless shit, talking about the homeless in relation to all other, like, economic classes or brackets or whatever you want to call it. Because it's all interconnected and related stuff. And I know, like, I know that it's like nobody wants to really, it's just not, it's really a boring subject. This is why I've talked about dendrology in the past. Dendrology, like the study of trees. Like I could see how that would be really boring for a lot of people. And I'm not a dendrologist and I've never studied trees. Even though I could see how it could be really boring, I could also see how a dendrologist would find it like extremely fascinating. Or it's like that's all they would talk about is trees. It's like, oh dude, did you know this about trees and that about trees? Like a dendrologist studies trees because they're fascinated by them. And the more like a person learns about trees, the more fascinating they become by it. Whereas somebody who's never really thought to, you know, look into the subject of trees, that doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. It's just that they've never, you know, their interests have been elsewhere. Whereas a dendrologist just happened to, for whatever reason, it could have just been some fluke, you know, that a dendrologist just kind of accidentally discovered a fascination with trees for some reason. Who knows what it could be any number of reasons, you know? Like I'm trying to think of what might be an example of how like someone could just serendipitously stumble upon the subject of dendrology and then end up like totally tripping out on it and geeking out on it. And that's what happened to me with homelessness, you know, like it's like, I mean, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. And the more I look into it, the more I see how it connects with everything, you know? And then it's like, and then the more I see how it connects with everything, then I see how all these people that are like talking about this important issue and that important issue, like they don't even see the connection with that and like homelessness and stuff. And it just, so it blows my mind, you know? Anyways, but I know I've been getting like heavy lately, probably the last 5 videos. And, which, you know, whatever. I mean, it's my channel. I'm pretty much just going to do whatever I want. But, and like this, Asmongold video that I referenced, last night. I mean, bro, it's a 36-minute video. There is so much more in that video than just kind of what I've been ranting about. Like it's like mind blowing, bro. And it's like I want to talk more about it, but then I know, like, it's just, it's kind of like being a dendrologist and talking about trees. I have to acknowledge the fact that a lot of people, they don't really care about trees, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with not caring about trees. But like, there's also nothing wrong with the dendrologist caring about trees and getting excited about different things that they're learning and know about trees. I've used dendrology as an analogy before, and I love the trees is a great analogy. Like in Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien uses the tree people as a fucking a really profound analogy. The tree people, the Ents, the Fangorn, like they are hands down my most favorite archetype in Lord of the Rings. Like they are so fucking badass that and they only play this little part. But the little part that they play is so fucking badass. Like when Treebeard says, I'm not on anyone's side because nobody's on my side. Like, Treebeard and the Ents don't want nothing to do with the war. The only reason they got involved is when they actually witnessed empirical evidence that Saruman was killing off their own fucking people, their own tree people. And then that's when they just stood up and said, oh, fuck this. And then they fucking smashed him, But that was the only reason. They didn't join because of some moral reason, or because it's like, like it's the right thing to do, or it's like they didn't give a fuck. They're just like, fuck off. And then they explained it. They said, Treebeard is like saying, like we left Middle Earth a long time ago, like so long ago that our existence has become a myth. People don't even know whether Fangorn is actually a real race or just some myth, That's how long ago Fangorn left Middle Earth. And the reason Fangorn left Middle Earth is because the way they were treated by the inhabitants of Middle Earth. The inhabitants of Middle Earth just kind of didn't really give a fuck about Fangorn and the Ents. Like, they just didn't care. He says it. Nobody cares for the woods anymore, And, but like, trees are, or like the band Rush. You ever heard the song Trees by Rush? Where it talks about, read the lyrics to the Rush song Trees. It's like, how does it go? It's like, the shorter trees were pissed off because the taller trees were absorbing all the sun, and it was making them grow even taller. And the oaks were like growing real tall, and then they were stealing all the sun, and all the other smaller trees, they couldn't get any sun because the oaks were stealing it all. And so then they were fighting. It started a war between the trees. And they were shaking their heads and fucking, and shit. Like, trees are just, like the proverb of the mustard seed. That's another thing that's like tree related, But trees, every time it seems like every time they're using trees as an analogy, it's always the same thing. It's like trees are the underdog. Like trees, the Fangorn were the underdog in Lord of the Rings. Like, they were such an underdog that they were practically had disappeared. They were invisible, and the hobbits accidentally stumbled upon the Fangorn. And they're like, what the fuck? These are real? I thought this was just some like child's story, like children's story or myth or something. There's actually real fucking tree. Like, the hobbits were tripped the fuck out. And then the story of the Fangorn, the tree people, is that they left Middle Earth long ago because the inhabitants of Middle Earth rejected them and treated them like shit. Treebeard explains it. He's like, the fucking trees, they were getting picked on and gnawed and bitten and sawed and shit. And like, Treebeard starts getting all pissed off thinking about it, gnawing and biting and sawing, and he's like fucking about ready to kill the hobbits because he's so pissed off about the history of Fangorn being abused in a general way by the inhabitants of Middle Earth. And like, that's like the homeless, I mean, it totally is. I know how you won't understand, just like a person who's not a dendrologist can't really understand the, dendrology like a dendrologist can. And it's of no virtue that I just became obsessed with the whole homeless thing because I ended up homeless like at 18, like overnight, boom, the whole rug, everything is boom, you're homeless, motherfucker, overnight, without any warning or anything. Suddenly, overnight, I'm homeless on the street. That's it. It's over. And then I spent 10 years trying to navigate my way out of the streets, bro. And it is mission fucking impossible. It really is, bro. Like, that's why I've talked about this a lot in my videos over the years. They should be teaching children, like youth, to prepare for like an economic depression type scenario, like in the 1930s. Like any fucking teenager can easily become homeless overnight because parents are not obligated by law to have anything to do with their offspring once they turn 18. So if I have children and I just like go through the motions, okay, I gotta feed these little fuckers, I gotta fucking house them, these fucking cunts, I can't stand them, and I'm just waiting until they turn 18 so that I can just lock the door and fucking finally be free from them. And so I have kids, and that's how I am as a parent. And then when they turn 18, that's exactly what I do. I'm like, change the locks, lock up the house, and fuck you. You're on your own. Get out of here, right? Like that could happen to any teenager. Any teenager. But are teenagers prepared that that could happen to them? Not at all. Not at all. They're actually groomed into thinking that, oh, parents don't do that. Parents don't do that unless the child is a naughty child. Then they do it, anyways, so but like going back to the trees, like the parable of the mustard seed. The parable of the mustard seed is like the tiniest fucking seed. It's super tiny. And so, and so people they assume that because the seed is so tiny, it's going to produce a small, it's not going to produce much. But a mustard tree is fucking massive, A mustard tree that sprouts from the tiny mustard seed it's like one of the biggest fucking trees in the world. But the seed is one of the smallest seeds in the world. It's one of those kind of parables where, like, never underestimate some, like a person, for example, because of their size, size matters and all this. Like, you don't know who you're fucking with, and so it's best to not fuck with people, It's best to not be fucking with people, The parable of the mustard seed. Yes, it's very tiny and it takes a long time to grow, but once it's grown, like, that fucking thing is massive. It is like the king of the fucking trees, dude, so there's a lot of interesting analogies that over time they've done with trees, like Treebeard and the Fangorn and like the Rush song, The Trees. And it's all like totally directly tied with, my obsession with homelessness, which is why I like to use dendrology as like a metaphor for me going off on this subject of homelessness. Like, to me, it's super insane. It's super insane. Watch the movie They Live, keeping in mind that is about a homeless person and homeless people, dude. why, and then think about it. Like if if you want to analyze a film like The Matrix or like Idiocracy or a movie like They Live, like truly analyze it. Because okay, like for example, the movie The Matrix is a great movie to analyze because the philosophical shit in it is deep as fuck and it'll blow your mind. Like dude, I've seen the movie The Matrix. I couldn't even guess. Maybe 50 to 100 times. I don't know. Dude, yeah. And like Idiocracy is another one. If you want to analyze Idiocracy, like there are movies where people say this is a document, and They Live is one of them. They Live is a movie that's like, dude, this is a documentary. They Live is a movie that can be analyzed, not just passively watched, but actually analyzed. Like, what is this movie saying? Because it's deep. It has a lot of deep philosophical messaging in it. And if you really want to analyze the movie They Live and like really think about what is this movie about, you have to. You cannot deny that the main character is a homeless person. The other all the main characters, the majority of them are homeless people. Like there's a reason, just like there's a reason why all these scenes happen in the movie The Matrix, which makes the movie, like it philosophical. Like it goes beyond just surface level passive, consumption. It's like you can actually learn shit from watching the movie if you're paying attention. And it's the same with the movie They Live. So like there's reasons that there's all these scenes in the movie The Matrix. That's what makes the movie The Matrix a philosophical phenomenon that has turned into like, red pill, blue pill, all this shit. Everybody's talking about being red pilled and all this stuff. Like, and They Live is another phenomenon. And if you really want to treat it as the phenomenon that it is, you have to consider, like, why is it that it's a homeless guy in the movie They Live? So anyways, so even though, so I'm like wanting to not talk about homelessness, but here I am. But I'm just kind of explaining, like, it's super fascinating to me. That's why I brought up dendrology. It would be like a dendrologist who's all fascinated by trees. Well, most people they aren't that fascinated by trees outside of just like, visiting, the redwoods or something. And wow, and driving through the big hole in the big tree or whatever. But a dendrologist, man, it's on a whole other level, dude. Like you don't want to be hanging around a dendrologist when you visit, the redwoods and stuff, because that motherfucker is going to be talking your balls off, bro. You're going to be like, dude, I just came here to get away on vacation. I don't want to hear about the fucking, the molecular structure and fucking biological compound of fucking of trees, dude. Fuck off, And so that's what deters people from my channels, because I'm just geek out on the homeless shit. It's fucking so fascinating. Like look at the Romans and the barbarians. Bro, the barbarians were fucking homeless. They were like the homeless, they were like the barbarians, bro. The barbarians were badass, dude. What are you talking about, man? Just like Fangorn was badass. Just like the Oathbreakers in Lord of the Rings they were the most badass motherfuckers. But everybody's always praising the Hobbit and Gandalf and all the regular. See, these motherfuckers, the Oathbreakers and the Fangorn, they're like the real ones that they don't get any praise at all. And they're tactfully placed that way in the mythos and story to get people to think. Okay? Like, there's more going on than meets the eye, And I'm convinced that Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien, in his heart of hearts, it was the Fangorn that stole his heart and mind, not the Hobbit or the hobbits and elves and Gandalf. No, that was all just to set everything up so that he could plant this mustard seed and to get people to think about the pariahs and the misfits and outcasts of the story Lord of the Rings, and what a massive role the pariahs and outcasts played in overcoming Sauron and Saruman. Again, if you look at Lord of the Rings, if it weren't for the Oathbreakers and Fangorn, they would have lost the war. But how many people talk about that? Ever? Nobody, dude. Nobody does, dude. And it's the same with They Live. How many people are talking about that, dude? Why was the main character of the movie They Live a homeless guy living in a homeless camp with a bunch of homeless people? And like there's this big dramatic scene where the homeless camp gets raided by stormtroopers in fucking police helicopters and police cars and a paddy wagon and a fucking... Why? Why do you think? Like, use your brain, you know? But whatever. So anyway, so my channel is where I just unfiltered just go off about homelessness. And it's just my thing. I understand, you know. I understand that it's just some weird obsession. Same with the dendrologist's obsession with trees. In order to be a dendrologist, one has to have some kind of obsession with trees, you know. Dendrology is the study of trees. An actual dendrologist has to be really geeked the fuck out and totally obsessed with trees in order to pursue, you know, becoming a dendrologist. Otherwise, why? What's the fucking point, you know? So anyways, but yeah, no, man, and it's just really fascinating how homelessness ties into everything. For example, look at Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. Look at all of this panic and hysteria over Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. What does the World Economic Forum have to do with homelessness, you ask? Well, I don't know. Like, what's the fucking slogan for the World Economic Forum? You will own nothing and be happy. I mean, you can't connect the dots on the World Economic Forum slogan, you will own nothing and be happy. You can't connect the dots of that with, like, the whole idea of homeless people. Like, they own nothing, dude. And what does society expect of homeless people? To be happy in their misery. To feel grateful that they live in America, the land of opportunity, all this opportunity, right? Yeah. I mean, they want you all homeless. You all already are homeless, arguably. Dude, look at the movie The Good Shepherd with Matt Damon. That's another arguably great movie to analyze. Did you know The Good Shepherd is based on a true story about how the CIA came to be? Okay, the CIA, you know, black ops and shit. Okay, and what it does, Matt Damon, whatever the name of Matt Damon's character, they follow Matt Damon's character as Matt Damon finds himself, you know, joining the fucking CIA and learning all the fucking skull and bones secrets. Like, he gets fucking cut, he gets fucking, you know, they bring him into the fold of the skull and bones CIA shit. And it follows Matt Damon's character as he experiences and learns what all this CIA shit is about. And there's a very poignant, great scene where his CIA colleagues that are like, you know, the old timers of the CIA, they explain to him, and he learns this, that all these people that aren't part of the club, like the CIA, they're not really Americans. They are not welcome in America. They are just visiting. So that's the way, according to the movie The Good Shepherd, the way it illustrates the CIA, that's the way the CIA views and treats all Americans. Is that they're not really Americans. They're not. They're just useless eaters, and they don't live here. They're just visiting. So you're all homeless to them. To the CIA and these other alphabet agencies, you're all homeless. None of you are any more special than the homeless. Through the lens of the CIA and these alphabet agencies, you think that they look at you as any different than a homeless? They don't. Again, watch the movie, The Good Shepherd. Like, okay? And so you got all these people that want to talk about the alphabet agencies and stuff because it's so important, right? Well, you see how these alphabet agencies relate to homelessness? They view you as homeless. You're a visitor here. That means your home is not here. You're just merely visiting. And they really don't appreciate your presence at all. They tolerate it because, you know, they can fuck you all day, so they'll tolerate you being around. So for you to believe anything other than that you're just another homeless fucking bum, like, why would you believe anything otherwise? Unless you don't really see what's really going on here, you know. So then you can start to separate who actually sees what's really going on from who doesn't. Because anybody that believes that they're more special than the homeless doesn't realize that alphabet agencies run this entire fucking country and the world. And they don't view you as any different than a homeless person. So why you would think that you are any more special than a homeless person is because you're an idiot. Is because you're just a fucking, you're not paying attention at all. You just been brainwashed and you don't even know it. Like, you're just another homeless bum, dude, to the alphabet agencies, you know. Anyways, how long is this video? Oh, this is a long one. That's okay. So this is why I just geek out on this stuff, and I don't mean to like get heavy. But even though these are sad facts, you know, these are sad realities. I tend to find humor in a lot of this stuff, though. What I find humor in a lot of this stuff is like observing people that think that they're more special and that they're better than homeless people. That makes me laugh. Like, I think it's funny. And if you're one of those people, I'm laughing at you. And you might think I'm stupid for laughing at you, but if I'm right, if people like me are right about like pretty much in a general way are pretty accurate, have a pretty accurate pulse on what's really going on here, and therefore I'm right, well then it is funny to watch you think that you're somehow special. It's like, it's basically the same thing as you thinking that you're part of the club. I mean, have you not gotten the memo yet? You haven't gotten the memo that you're not part of the club, dude? Like, that's hilarious. And so dude, if you know, if you're picking up what I'm putting down right now, you know that there's tons of people that you see them everywhere, all the time, in the strangest of places too, like in so-called truther communities. They actually talk and act as though they think they're part of some big club. It's like, I thought you were a truther, bro. Like, what? You're just another bum like everybody else. You're no different than the homeless motherfucker pulling out fucking garbage out of the fucking garbage can in front of McDonald's, and you still haven't figured this out? Like, wow, that's hilarious. But it's also not funny, because when you see how many people are clueless, that's when you start to look at it in a different light. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, you're fucking cooked. We're all cooked. If everybody is this fucking stupid, we're fucked. You know, sure. There's like a comic element to, you know, Idiocracy. Like, that was funny, right? Idiocracy is a pretty funny movie. But if it were in real life, if it was like in IRL idiocracy, it wouldn't be funny. It would be like a tragic comedy. Yes, it would be funny, but it would be fucked up. Well, isn't that what you see everywhere? Look around. What do you see? It's like a tragic comedy. A fucking clown show. A sad ass fucking clown show, you know? It's hard not to laugh, but holy shit, like, this is serious shit, you know? So, you know, I mean, whatever. I guess you got to take the bad with the good and everything. You know? It's like laughing at these people who are celebrating EBT getting cut off. I can laugh. Even though, I should be upset, right? Because I'm like all down for the homeless and I'm defending the homeless and stuff. So I should be upset that all these people are celebrating EBT getting cut off. But it's kind of like the silver lining, you know? The silver lining in it is those people are pretending to celebrate when really they're getting fucked just as bad as the people who are getting their food stamps cut off. And all you have to do is listen to them. They complain every day, all day about their tax dollars going to Israel and Ukraine. But yet they want to celebrate when EBT gets cut off? Well, that's just throwing stones from glass houses. Like any EBT recipient can throw a stone right back at them and say, oh yeah, well, how about all them tax dollars going to Israel you keep crying about? You know, are you ever going to shut the fuck up about that, you fucking cunt? You know, it's like, what are you going to do? And this is why I loved Osmond Gold's take is like, dude, you got basically what it all boils down to, the top 10% and everyone else. And everyone else is just fucked. So, like, you can either acknowledge your true enemy, which is the top 10%, or you can just keep bickering amongst each other. You know, one person mocking the other because their bowl of soup got turned over, but then the other one can mock them because, well, the soup, it has a bunch of fucking dog shit in it anyways, and you're there eating dog shit, so haha. So everybody can bicker amongst each other. And isn't that what it all is? Divide and conquer, right? So the top 10% just wants to keep everyone else divided so that the top 10% can continue to conquer everything. So what good is it to be mocking, you know, homeless people for being homeless when the top 10%, all they see, you're just another fucking useless eater bum. The whole idea is that you own nothing and be happy, dude. And then, I mean, this just goes on and on and on. You can look at it from the homeowner's perspective who cries because they pay $6,000 every year in property tax and starts crying about how you don't really own your own house. And it's like, well, it sounds like you're just another homeless bum to me, dude. Like, welcome to the fucking show. Yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Where you been? We've been wondering when you're gonna pull your fucking head out of your ass. How you like it? How you liking it? You know. But anyways, so dude, like, there's endless content to extract from this whole thing when you look at it through the John Nada lens, like the homeless lens. It's like what the fuck, like. That's why the movie They Live is so amazing. Like, he puts on the glasses and he's just like, what the fuck? You know? Every scene in They Live is just a wow. Okay? Like when he goes to get a job. He goes to get a job, right? Homeless American goes to get a job. What happens when he goes to get a job? Do I need to refresh your memory? He goes to get a job, and all the jobs are taken by the illegal immigrants. So he can't even get a job, a homeless American. And then what does he do after that? I'm sure I need to refresh your memory because I'm far more obsessed with homelessness than your average person. After that, he goes to the food stamp office. And he goes to the food stamp office first. But the food stamp office scene is amazing. What happens? Do you know what happened? I can tell you scene for scene exactly what happens. I'm gonna tell you. if you're into film analysis and you like the, you know, the discussions on Red Pill and the Matrix and like Idiocracy and, you know, and They Live and stuff, I encourage you to like go back and watch it after listening to what I say. Okay, like for example, the food stamp scene. John Nada, the homeless guy who's the main character of They Live, he goes into the food stamp office. What's the first thing he hears when he walks into the food stamp office? I'm going to tell you. It's like, there's food stamps have been cut off, and we don't know when they're going to get turned back on. So unfortunately, there is no food stamps available at this time. Thank you. That's what's like plays in the loudspeaker when he walks into the food stamp, and he walks right by a guy who's fucking like in a wheelchair and shit, like with no legs or something, or he's paralyzed, and he's like wheeling out of the fucking food stamp office while it's like, there's no food stamps at the food stamp office right now. We're sorry for the inconvenience. And that's all for the announcement. Have a good day. That's the announcement. That's what's playing. Like, watch the movie. Watch the scene when he goes in the food, and then he gets up when he finally does meet with one of the caseworkers. Tell me, what does the caseworker symbolize to you? Like, if you were to sum it up in one word, what is the caseworker? What's the stereotype of the person, the caricature that plays the caseworker for the food stamps? I'll just tell you, it's a Karen, dude. She is like the epitome of a Karen. So she's like this. She's at her desk, right? And John Nada, you know, Rodney Piper's character, he's sitting at her desk, and she's like this. She's like this. This is her. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What's going on now? You know, that's exactly, dude. And then John Nada's like trying to be cool. He's like, well, I just, I had a job in Denver and stuff, and I worked for 10 years, but then the work just kind of dried up, and I had nothing to do. The work dried up, and I got laid off, and I ended up, homeless and stuff, and so here I am. I'm looking for work. Is there any job? And she's the whole time she's like this. She's like, why do you think that scene is in the movie? Why? Think. It's because that is the EBT system. If you're John Nada and you got laid off of your job, like interestingly, and coincidentally, is what the Asmongold video I was talking about last night is about. All these millions of people getting laid off. That's what John Nada's character is. He's laid off. He's got a big backpack with a sleeping bag. He's fucking homeless. He goes into the fucking food stamp office and he's met by, I'm sorry, there's no food stamp. That's it. Have a nice day. And then when he gets to the caseworker, it's like this. Okay, what's your deal? It's a fucking Karen, dude. Like, dude. Okay. And you can be like, okay, angry hobo, right? So what's your point? It's like here's part of my point. I was scrolling on BitChute this morning, right? Whenever, I don't know if it's, and there's a Steven Crowder video. Your favorite Steven Crowder. And he's doing a video exclusively complaining that food stamp recipients use their food stamps to buy cookies and soda, and how that is just not right. And yes, taxpayers are paying for that. And so yes, a standard is very important. It is very important to micro fucking manage what fucking EBT recipients do, and that it's not okay for them to buy cookies and soda. But these are your favorite people. Salty Cracker has the same take on food stamp recipients and homeless people. Steven Crowder, the same as the Karen at the food stamp office. Okay, I'm just another fucking loser. Like they are the epitome of the Karen as portrayed in the movie. And so you want this stupid Karen to be one of your super popular superstars on your favorite free speech platform on BitChute. So all these cunts that act just like this Karen in the movie They Live, they're the ones that have the popular Salty Cracker videos and the popular Steven Crowder channels and the popular fucking Mark Dice channel. Mark Dice has the same attitude. It's the same. It's all this Karen faggot. Okay, that's my point. So if you know what I'm talking about, when I'm talking about the food stamp Karen caseworker, the retarded bitch at the food, if you know what I'm talking about, and you're just as disgusted with these fucking retarded Karens as I am, when someone like John Nada goes up to apply for, if you're just as fucking disgusted, then why would you even tolerate for even a second that these are the people that are dominating the public square of fucking discourse on fucking platforms like BitChute? The same exact attitude as the Karen cunt in the fucking movie They Live is the fucking popular and trending channel on BitChute, like Mark Dice. Mark Dice has the same attitude towards the homeless as the fucking Karen cunt depicted in the movie They Live. It's the exact same, and same with Crowder, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Salty Crack. I can go down the list. All these people have the exact same attitude as the Karen in the movie They Live. Okay, so why haven't you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps? Like, it's fucking, and it's disgusting. And so if you're like I said, if you're relating and you're like, no, I get it, Angry Hobo, then my question to you is, how is it that you can tolerate all these fucking Karen cunts that have these massive platform channels that dominate all your so-called free speech platforms, and you just tolerate that shit? You don't say anything? See, I'm saying shit all the time. I'm pumping out videos about it every fucking day for 8 years. And you don't have anything to say about it? That these Karen fucking cunts, as depicted in the movie They Live, are the biggest popular channels on your so-called free speech platform on BitChute. Dude, I already know. I watch these guys. They have the exact same attitude as the Karen in the movie They Live. I just told you, like Steven Crowder yesterday put out a video that he is, you know what I said, the comment that I said, and I saw that video and I went straight for the fucking juggler on his video. I said, dude, look at this pathetic cockroach cunt. There is fucking P. Diddy parties, Epstein Islands, false flag wars, alleged vax and fucking and war genocides, all this shit, and this fucking grifting sellout cunt wants to try to convince you that you should be upset that EBT recipients are buying cookies with their fucking food stamps. You are a fucking retard if you're listening to this guy. And guess what happened? I went back later to see if anybody had responded or downvoted my comment, which they always do. The video had been taken down. I wonder why. If there are fucking so-called vaccine fucking genocides taking place, false flag wars that are going on right now with Israel, Gaza, Ukraine, all these false flag wars, these genocides with the genocide, Gaza genocide, the Palestine genocide, and you've got, you've got fucking vaccine genocides going on, pandemics. You've got Epstein Islands. Where? Okay, who owns the Epstein Islands? The rich fucking cunts. Who's throwing the P Diddy parties? The rich fucking cunts. Who is flagging the false flag wars? The rich fucking cunts. And yet, who is casting these fake plandemics, scamdemic things? The rich fucking cunts. Who is allegedly genociding everyone with the fucking vaccine? The rich fucking cunts. So all these rich fucking cunts are doing all this shit, but the headline story on your favorite free speech platform is that EBT recipients are buying cookies with their EBT food stamp. And you think that I'm not even being hyperbolic at all. I observe, because I'm obsessed, because I'm a dendrologist obsessed with the study of trees, I'm watching for all of this constantly. While you may be watching about any number of things, you're probably not you don't have the obsession that I do with trees. I'm watching this. And I can't believe that you people allow these fucking cockroach Karens to take over your so-called free speech platform with this fucking diuretic Steven Crowder fucking crap. And they're all doing the same thing. Alex Jones does the bum piss. The bum piss elixir. Alex Jones was selling bum piss elixir, telling you that the bum piss that you smell on the streets when you're in any major city, that there's mites that travel through the air and they go into your lungs. But Alex Jones, I'm not even kidding about it. See, this is the thing. Because I am like obsessed with homelessness, I see these things. But I'll talk about it and people will be like, wait, what? Alex Jones has some bum piss elixir? What? It's like, yeah. See, I notice this shit. I notice that, like, all of these fuckers. And see, the thing is if you don't notice that these guys are doing this, like, then you don't know that your fucking free speech platforms are being taken over by a bunch of fucking cockroach fucking Karens, and you don't even know it. And the reason is because you're not paying attention to the homeless shit. You're not wearing your fucking They Live sunglasses, dude. You're not seeing what John Nada is seeing. Okay? Like when John Nada puts on the glasses, well, like the sign says, what does the sign say? The sign says American Spirit cigarettes, but when he puts on his glasses, it says, work, produce, consume. And then he takes them off and it says, American Spirit, and he puts it back on and it says work, produce, consume. And that's what I'm telling you. The Steven Crowders, the Mark Dices, the fucking Styx Hexenhammers, all of these big fucking cunts, even the ones that you don't think, like Richie from Boston's and the Crow Houses, I can go in and explain their tactic, which is different. But right now I'm just focusing on the Steven Crowder. They are the equivalent of the fucking Karen at the food stamp office, in the food stamp office scene at the fucking in the movie They Live. They are the dude. And see, like, that's the thing. You don't see it. I have these sunglasses that I ran into the proverbial John Nada, and I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, oh my God. Oh my fucking God, right? And then I look at all you people and you don't see it. Steven Crowder will put out a video, and Mark Dice, they all do this. Salty Cracker, all these, they do this all the time. And nobody protests it. Nobody ever goes in there and says, dude, you're a cunt. You're just a fucking shill cunt. Nobody does. Like, everybody's just like, whatever. Who cares? You know, yeah, it was just another day, Like, remember the scene when John Nada goes into the grocery store? And he's already tripped the fuck out. Like, and he goes into the grocery store and he's like, formaldehyde face. You're okay. you're a fucking formaldehyde face, bro. Like, you need to go to the fucking doctor, bro. Remember that scene? And the Karen, the other Karen's like, we've got one that can see. You know? Remember that? Okay, like, that whole grocery store scene starts off with a guy in a business suit. And he's in the grocery store. And he's standing next to another guy wearing a business suit. Okay? Now, the first guy wearing a business suit, that's the actor that plays the smoking man in the fucking X-Files. There's some fun facts for you, you know. There's a reason that these actors are only in certain types of fucking media and not in others. Like the X-Files has meaningful content in it. The smoking man, the actor that plays the smoking man, is all throughout the X-Files, right? You don't see him in a lot of other stuff. Did you know he was in the movie They Live? He was the guy wearing the business suit in the grocery store scene. Okay, the smoking man, okay? And this is what he was saying. He's like, dude, and he's standing next to his friend who's also wearing a business suit. And he's like telling him, he's like, dude, I don't understand, man. Like, I've been fucking working and working and working, and I don't get anywhere. I never get promoted and shit. And fucking, you know, and like, you're getting promoted, and dude, I've been in this company for like 30 fucking years. He said, and then the other guy in the business suit, he's just like, he's half listening. He's like, whatever, dude. He's like, dude, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, man. Don't even fucking worry about it. And then, you put on the sunglasses, guess which one is the fucking formaldehyde face? That's right. The guy that's like, dude, don't even worry. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, man. You need to do more. You put on the fucking John Nada, where's the sun? Guess, and the smoking man is the guy that's not the formaldehyde face. He's the one that's like, dude, I don't understand why I can't get ahead. I'm always like living check to check, even though I got this fucking job that pays, you know, and I never get it. I fucking bless my ass. I've been with the company for 30 years. I never get any. And the other guy is a fucking formaldehyde face. And of course the formaldehyde face is the one saying, dude, you just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bro. Like, anyways. See, I can geek the fuck out on this homeless shit, man. It is a documentary, bro. But anyways, no, so it just blows my mind, you know? It blows my mind. It's like there is such a wealth of content to create from when looking through John Nada's fucking sunglasses. It's like, dude, it's like, oh my God, like you see all this shit. And then you look around and like nobody else sees it. Nobody else is seeing it. And you're just like, you don't fucking see it. That's a formaldehyde. You don't see the fucking formaldehyde faces. And so anyways, man, and so yeah, anyways, this is a long video. I'm just having some fun, you know. And I don't want to go off on the sky is falling kind of thing. I don't know, like, but like going back to what Asmongold was saying, it's like, yeah, dude, that's just the way it is. And even he says it. He's like, you know, it is. I'm like practically verbatim quoting him, where he's like, yeah, it is sad, because one of his commenters was like, that's sad about the whole thing that Asmon was explaining about the 10%, top 10%, the middle 80%, and the lowest 10%, and the whole scenario that he explained is what's happening right now. And somebody in his little feed was like, that's sad. And Osmond's like, yeah, it is sad. He's like, I'm just being honest. That's what he said. He's like, I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, it is sad, you know. Dude, he's right. It is. It's just the truth. That's all it is the truth. And you know, but I mean, like, what beyond just pointing out the truth, beyond pointing out the elephant in the room, you know, what else can you do? I mean, and at least I gotta give credit where credit's due. I mean, at least Asmongold was talking about it. You know, these guys, like, Mark Dice would never talk about that because he's paid by the top 10%ers. Mark Dice thinks he's part of the club, dude. All these guys. salty crap. I mean, you just go down the list. It's like 90%, at least 90% of all these guys in these popular and trending stuff, they're all just paid by the fucking top 10%, and they know it, and they're hoping that they're gonna be part of the club. But then they're telling you that they're telling you the opposite. They're not telling you the truth, bro. Like, I watched a Gypsy Fox video. Gypsy Fox just said it, like, really just plainly. And he's right. You know, Gypsy Fox keeps trying to, you know, reason with all these people. You know, like people that watch his channel and people that kind of are in the circle with Fake Nukes Phil and Jim Rizzoli. You know, you may or may not know who these people. But anyways, you know, they're never going to listen to Gypsy Fox, even though Gypsy Fox is right. He keeps trying to tell these guys, like, he's trying to explain in the Crow House is a bullshitter. All the, you know, Owen Benjamin is just a bullshitter. All these, but see, Jim Rizzoli just keeps, he doesn't, these people, they just don't even, they actually, what it is they just don't care. As long, whenever Owen Benjamin starts talking about the Jews, Jim Rizzoli's gonna praise it. Like, oh, Owen Benjamin is so great. Dude, like, and you know, I mean, dude, the whole thing really is a sad state of affairs. And like, Baffled by Bullshit, dude, I've watched that guy for years, and he, you know, in one fell swoop, fucking exposed Richie from Boston for just being exactly what he is, just another one of these bullshitters, you know, who sold out, and it's like, you know, and there ain't many of us left. You know, there really aren't many of us left. You got Baffled by Bullshit, Gypsy Fox. I'm trying to do what I can do. And I wanted to talk about this in my video too, like the progression of my channel over the years. Or not progression, but just like the history, you know, or whatever. I don't know if it's like progressing or whatever. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I mean, I do and I don't. It would be nice if it progressed, but if it doesn't, I'll keep talking anyways, because at least I'm talking about it. You know, at least I'm talking about the trees. We need a dendrologist that knows about trees. I'm sorry. I know it would be nice to not have to need a dendrologist, you know, someone who knows about trees, but we actually do need someone that knows about. We need dendrologists. I'm sorry, you know, that's just a reality. You know? But anyways, you know, there's a couple other channels. Brian Ross, he does short videos, and I like Brian Ross because he's honest and he's just talking about what's going on with him in the real world. He's just an everyday guy talking about his shit, but it's relevant to everything going. I like Brian Ross. I'm pretty sure that's the right name. He does little shorts. I like him, dude. He's a cool he's a homeless vet. Fucking cool ass dude, man. You know, there's this chick that I watch sometimes. She's from Australia, I think. And, you know, but these everyday people voices are what matter to me. I don't really care about all this hyped up bullshit, you know? It's all bullshit. It's all a bunch of fucking Karens that are pissed off about EBT recipients. Meanwhile, you've got Epstein Islands, P. Diddy parties, false flag wars, vaccine genocides, you know, Palestinian genocides, you know, COVID scamdemics. I mean, you know, go down the list of all this other shit and all these people. You know, dude. There is no excuse for any of these people to be bringing up EBT recipients. That is the least of their concern. The only reason they're bringing it up is because they want to distract you, the viewer, from the real problem and shift your focus over to some petty, retarded, non-fucking issue garbage about, well, those EBT recipients shouldn't be spending their EBT money on cookies. That's an abuse. And us taxpayers are all really upset about it. Aren't you upset about it, taxpayer? Meanwhile, your tax dollars are funding Epstein Islands. Your tax dollars are funding fucking, you know, pandemics, and they want to shift your focus over to the EBT recipient. Like, it's hilarious. Put on your fucking John Nada sunglasses, bro. These are the problem people. And just like I brought up how Gypsy said, and baffled by bullshit has been saying for fucking years, these are the problem people. They're trying to point it. They're a bunch of fucking, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And I could go on and on. Look, like this video, I can't see the thing. Okay, we're into an hour right now. Dude, I could go on for another hour. Riffing. Do you see how much I've just been riffing consistently for an hour? I can keep this up. I'm not gonna. Because why? You know? It's like, you either know or you don't, you know? And it's just, it's amazing. It is amazing. Anyways, so I'll just leave it at that. You know, again, set this at ×2, and it's a lot shorter. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to want, who fucking cares, right? All right, we'll see you guys. Thank you, anybody who would watch, dude. Honestly, I hope, I would rather it went without saying. You know, to me, the term thank you is an action, not a phrase. I show my gratitude by doing videos. That's how I thank you for watching my videos, is by actually doing them, taking the time to do this. That's how I show my gratitude, okay? And if you don't watch it, that's okay. I don't care, dude. I mean, you know, seek and you shall find. There's others like me out there. They're hard to find, I'll tell you that, though. But they're out there. And, you know, if I'm not bringing the juice or whatever, you know, I'm sure there's somebody out there that'll has something to say that you can maybe benefit from. If you're not vibing with my shit, I've said it before, I totally understand it. It's not that I don't understand, but it's not going to stop me, dude. It's not going to stop me. So anyway, that's all I got. We'll see you later, dudes.